scientist. There's a lot of things he's done in the state of Florida, where he's the governor, that I didn't approve of nor support, especially when it came to minority rights and the educational system. It showed some signs of racism and things amongst our young people, which, and that's just me speaking, and I'm going to speak my mind, but at the same time, it's not about that. The people say that he's running, there's a lot like him, and some are supporting him, but they don't believe he could beat Trump.
Well, what that is, we cannot deal with any form of racism.
But do you think he could beat Trump?
I don't think he could beat Trump. One thing about that's good about our country is the democracy. You know what I'm saying? So he has the right, but I don't think he stands a chance with the different policies that he tried to put in place or that he's for.
Yeah.
He stands for.
Yeah.
Not gonna make it.
Well, that's I mean, he was in Iowa and he jumped out. I mean,
right.
He didn't do as he expected to do in Iowa, and he had the support and endorsement of the governor of Iowa, which was very surprising that he still couldn't even come nowhere near Trump in Iowa. So that's like, it's showing something and it's stating something. Even the governor can't muster up his own strength to back and at least get the votes and support needed in his own state. Trump is just, and Trump really even showed up, no debates, nothing whatsoever, and he's just like, he's topping the charts in these states. And people are still wholeheartedly, strongly supporting him. And Iowa, so DeSantis was in the tail end in the lead. I mean, the tail end vote getting in Iowa, now Carolina. So I think the way the trend is looking, that he's eventually going to have to drop out sooner or later. As much as he says and talks and says all of these great things about his platform, he doesn't seem too genuine in a lot of the things he says. And I think Trump realizes that, and I think a lot of the Republican and even other people in other parties realize the same thing. They're not too fond of him. They like Nikki Haley more than DeSantis. And now we'll see what happens after we hit New Hampshire and down in South Carolina. I think DeSantis' fate is written on the wall. It's going to sooner or later pass to end. And he'll return back and do what he does in Florida. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on Power Talk. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite, and also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com, and that's www.millenniumnews24.com, and through our social media, Millennium News. See you then.
Viewers in America and around the world, welcome to Today's America. This is your host, Tafadar Noor, from our national studio. Viewers, every week we are bringing Today's America, your voice, your rights, American rights, minority rights, colorful people rights. Watch Today's America every single week. Millennium News 24. We are on globally all smart TVs, Sony, Samsung, LG. Also jagobd.com. Globally we are on Horizon Satellite. Locally we are all cable network. Our website millenniumnews24.com, millenniumtv24.com. Whatever you are, stay peace, love and happiness. Stay with Millennium News 24.
Welcome back, Millennium News 24 Power Talk. I'm your host, Eric Stevenson, and I'm here with Norman McGill, once again, a Republican candidate for the New York State Assembly in the Bronx, South Bronx. He's born down there. He's on the show, and we're great to have you here again, Norman. One more question before we go into what your platform's all about. Is interesting enough, I see that they had a bipartisan bill that Republicans are making a priority regarding the federal debt. It now tops at $34 trillion. The federal debt of the United States of America now tops at $34 trillion. And some in Congress want a commission to find ways to tackle it. The bill was approved by the GOP Majority Committee by a 22 to 12 vote. It seems to be going to go to the floor for a vote. But I don't think people should be playing politics or bipartisan or any politics with the debt like this. And if they have ways to tackle it, there should be no, if you have a genuine concern about helping your country and serving your country in Congress, if you have solutions and no ways to tackle it, you should do it without the politics and without the negotiation of what I'm going to get out of it for doing this and that. It's a collective body that should work together and reduce our debt. Wouldn't you say so?
I agree with it, because when you start trying to put politics into it, then you start getting different opinions about it. People, it's going to go sway back and forth when we actually should be working together. When you actually look at it, when you actually look at a football team, you have an offense, you have a defense. Mm. There are different sides and different positions, but you know what? The opponent is on the other side. They actually work together. But actually, we should tackle this together and make do, so our country be okay.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about how we're going to make the New York State and the South Bronx okay in the 77th District, Norman. So why don't you, when I heard it was an open seat, and my first thought was, who's going to fill it? And I heard different rumors of different people, etc. And then I spoke to a person of your party who mentioned, who called me and asked did I know Norman McGill. I said, Norman McGill? And I told him, I said, that's your candidate. If you want a candidate who can win. And he said, well, that's our candidate. So I decided to invite you on, because I know you have been a front runner in helping to elect many Democrats of the Bronx. Even helping me and others when we was out and running campaigns and in our elections. And you was very fruitful in making a lot of good things happen for the South Bronx. You was born there, you lived there, you still live there. You do so much as a tenant association president, and you do so much for that area of the Bronx. And I'm sure the people know very well who you are and in your district, and is going to be very supportive of you, knowing that you want to run. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, once again, first of all, I want to thank you for having me. And I want to answer your question when you said who's going to fill that seat. I, Norman Stobie McGill, I will fill that seat. That will happen. I am the people's choice. I'm born and raised in the hybrid section, which is the 77th district of the Bronx. I went to school there. Yes, 11, 126, on to 166 in high school in the Bronx, Albert E. Smith. I even went to Bronx Community College. So I am Bronx, bred in Bronx. I bleed Bronx because I was born and raised there. I was born in Morris Senior Hospital, which is also in the Bronx.
Yeah, they knocked it down now. I was born there too.
Born in Morris Senior Hospital. So yeah. I'm all about the Bronx, and for a long time I've been on the back end as far as no one knows exactly who I was, or that she was actually on the ground with me. Like you said yourself, I've helped you as well. I've handed out literature. But my political stance in helping people started a long time ago with my mother. My mom's a pastor. I was raised by a pastor, raised with my father as well. Dad died when I was very young at 23, but I can actually say the 23 years with my dad is like 60 years compared to most people when I hear their story. Because I was every day with my father learning lessons of life. And it was a amount of time that I can always treasure. But my mom was a pastor, so my mom always had an open house policy and always taught me how to help others. So along the way, it was instilled in me to do that, and I did so in growing up. I got to where I was about, I want to say about in my 30s, where I realized that my calling from God actually is to help people. I finally knew what my actual purpose on life was to help people, and I continue to do so. Like I said, you had to be on the ground to know who I am. At the time, I wasn't a big social media person. I just did what I had to do. I helped in several marches against gun violence. I worked with community-based organizations, CBO, like SOS, Save Our Streets, RGB, Release the Grip. Also, in return, creating my own path. I started a nonprofit organization, which is called Spare a Life, which is supporting people around risk environments. And I'm creating programs that would keep kids off the streets, because I think when I'm in office, this is one of the beneficial things I want to do. I want to be able to create something that would allow kids to be off the streets, because as we know, it takes 5 minutes to get in trouble and a whole lifetime to get out of. We have to, we're not saying we're going to stop. What we're doing is putting our kids in a better percentile, in a percentage, to where they can survive and make a great impact as a youthful in this society. So this is what we're doing. When I say I'm the people's choice, because people know my face. You know my face, you know my name. Please, I'm asking the people, don't get confused about the game. This is politics. I am for you for the 77th district.
So it seems like this is going to be an election where actually people are not going to be following and looking at party lines in this election, because it's a special election cause where all party lines will put up a candidate and you have to run on some line. So regardless of the party line in this situation, the people are going to look at who is the best to represent it, the community they live in, right? I mean, you know, Highbridge is a very impoverished district, one of the most impoverished congressional districts in America. It joined in with Morrisania community, with the next neighboring district. And a lot of gun violence and all of crimes and a lot of teenagers are in the street who don't finish college or even high school. So it's a huge and a major school to prison pipeline going on in that district, and I know you know all about it. And like you said, the 5 minute to get in trouble and a lifetime to get out of it. So I know you want to reverse that and actually erase that, period, where these kids will actually be able to go on to get education, come out of poverty, improve their lives, the society, their families, and go on and learn a trade. Some of them are very talented and skillful with their hands and their mind, and can be educated and do trades. You know, a licensed electrician, carpenter, etc. Today, you can see it's a great salary they make, and it's way better than being in the streets and not doing something. You know? So how would you actually, or what would be a way you would tackle some of the gun violence?
Well, the way you tackle gun violence is that you have to understand that you fight a gun with a gun, you just create a war. So the one way that you would do it is you would try to eliminate them from the grassroots of the youth and create programs that would keep them off the streets and busy into the program, so that as they're learning in life and learning what life is and everything, that they don't get involved with those. They don't get involved with these things. They don't get easily swayed to go the other way. One of my great accomplishments in life was a couple of years ago. I have 3 kids that was born and raised in the projects and hybrid section. All went to college. I have 2 in college right now on a basketball scholarship.
Wow, great.
So I can tell you that not just by me, of course, with help with others, because it takes a village. I'm a product of an environment that knows how to bring up a youth in that type of community. In teaching my kid how to play basketball a few years ago, I've had someone come up and ask my son which building was 1095, which we only have 6 buildings in our development. And my son could not tell him which building was 1095. It made me feel like, no, you didn't keep your kids sheltered, but you kept him busy, that he stayed out of the next building. His friends were in school, and it helped him grow as a person to where he didn't get involved with whoever's on the corner. They know him and they see him because he lives there. But you know, it's programs. We need these programs to keep him busy. That's all.
And you would be the best to probably have hands-on approach with the community because of your long time residency there and knowing the community, so the young will be more receptive to listening to or speaking with you or trusting you, and you being able to tackle the Judas job more so than anyone else. I mean, I know you have a lot of other people who's new coming into the district now who wants an opportunity to run for a seat, but that's not how this should be done. Voters, community needs to wake up. You know, this is an opportunity, it's a vacancy, but someone of you has to be in that vacancy, has to fill that vacancy. Someone has to be someone who knows that community, that knows the ills of that community, to know the people, the suffering, the lives of that community, not someone who's coming in for an opportunity. That's a no-no. And the community cannot let it go like that. We have a person like yourself who's qualified, who knows it, who wants to do the work, and we should really look and be supportive of you. But we're going to come take a break and get right back to you. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite, and also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com, and that's www.millenniumnews24.com, and through our social media, Millennium News. See you then. Yes, welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk with your host, Eric Stevenson. We're here with Assembly candidate for the New York State Assembly candidate for the 77th District, Highbridge, Norm McGill. Norm, as we was just discussing before the break, how this seat has to be filled. The voters have to look at one thing when they go to the polls. You know, when I used to go as a young person, when I was able to start voting at 18 years old, when I went to the poll site, my father took me, and we had the old machines there with the levers, big levers you pull down and you pick your candidate, you know, the old machines. And so he was testing me after I went to vote for the first time. And he says, okay, what are you going to do now? I said, I'm going to vote. He says, okay, go vote. So he says, who are you going to vote for? And I turned my head to him like, you need to ask me that question? I said, I'm voting for the Democrat. You know what I mean? I said, who else I'm going to vote for? But there was other candidates. Well, he said, I was just asking you. So he was trying to instill in me to be a Democrat and to be a strong Democrat, right? So they said in the South, they used to call them yellow tail Democrats, or yellow dog Democrats, some name like that in the South. That means they were, I don't care what name you put under the Democratic Party title, you would pull the lever. If it said Mickey Mouse, you wouldn't even care about it. You would pull the lever. If it said Donald Duck, you wouldn't care. You would pull the lever. But the fact is now, those politics have changed because we've been kind of under the Democratic Party leadership for so many years, and we're still suffering so hard in our communities. Not to say that the Democratic Party is taking advantage of our communities, but I think many of them are looking at something different than really getting down into the gut of saving our communities. So what my point is that when we're going into these poll sites, we got to stop looking at party lines, because this is the only way we're going to send a message and to teach these party politicians who claim to be the representatives of us. This is the only way we're going to be able to respond and let them know that, you know what, not this time. Not this time. And I think now, Norman, you're going to be one to demonstrate that this time, not this time, where voters are going to come out and say, no, you're not going to pull the wool over our eyes on this one, because we know Norman, we know what he does. Before he started running, he's already been in the trenches doing this work for not 1 year, 2 years, but for many years. And not just moving in here last month or 3 months or a year or 2 years ago, but born and raised in this community. So I think the voters are going to be wise enough to say, we voting by the person and by the name, and we're not getting involved with party politics. We're looking for who's going to best represent this community, who's going to best do the job for us. And Norm, I think personally, your commitment and love for your community, you would do exactly that. You know?
Let me say this. I was also born into a Democratic Party. I come underneath a really green. We even took trips to Albany. We used to hand out pamphlets under the door for voters that was coming into election. We would, as a kid, we would raise something down from the 13th and say who can put it underneath everybody's door and reach the lobby first. These are the things we did for really green. A couple of dollars was given to us, which was well worth it, because we were helping on the Democratic side. Being raised as a Democrat, in my community, I've worked with, because they're elected officials there, which I'm still willing to reach across the aisle. I've worked with many of the Democrat elected officials in my area. I received numerous proclamations from councilmen, council people, assembly people, Congress people that's in the 77th district. All of them have commended me for my work that I've done in the community. So what I want to say about that is that in the community, the seat has been Democratic for years. And there are things, crime is still up. Some things haven't changed that needed to be changed. So I switched over. And what I want to say about this election is not about a party. It's about the right person for the community. I do wellness checks on our seniors. I check up on our seniors.
That's important, very important. I'm glad you do that.
Do your wellness check. If you tell me that the weather's freezing tomorrow and it's something below degrees, and we get a visual sign that say that we should watch out and be careful, I'm knocking on doors, checking on my seniors to make sure that they're okay. You okay? You need something from the store? You need milk? You need anything? You all right in there? In my wellness checks, in the past couple of years, I found 2 people deceased in apartments, myself, in my wellness checks, and had to contact police and had them come knock down the door, and they were deceased, and had to locate and tell the family that these seniors were in a home. So these are things that I've been doing. I've been doing without being in the limelight. People know who I am. Definitely a reflection of my community, you know. So I switched over and a Republican. I'm just telling people that it's about the person who's going to do right for the community, who know what the community is. I'm not from Florida or Georgia. I know what it is to come home, see a wheelchair or a walker in a lobby because the elevator don't work. I've been there. When it comes to independent or working, I too come from a trade. I'm an elevator mechanic by trade. There was times that I worked on the elevator when I shouldn't be working on the elevator because I'm not on the clock, because I said, you know what, this person need to get upstairs. But you know what, on the other flip side to that, if something happens to me, you know the company would not have covered me. They would have said, you know what, we didn't send you out there.
Right.
But it's the love in my heart that took place that I can't see somebody sitting in my lobby waiting for hours for a broken elevator when we need new elevators, which we now have as well. An $11.3 million budget that was forefunded from the federal government to our neighborhood, which we have, that I stood for and worked with. So these are things I'm telling you, I will fight for you. I will go to Albany. I will create better jobs, improve our schools.
What would you do about the housing crisis of this high rising costs of rents probably all over the country is going on, and even outside the country in other countries, the same things is happening. The cost of real estate is going up. Well, how would you nail down or try to cut out like affordable housing for your district or your community?
But there's one big stipulation is we have to actually know what is affordable housing, because
because they call it today affordable housing. It's not what I'm talking about. You know,
it's not
people
affordable.
can't afford affordable housing.
Exactly.
But I'm talking about real affordable housing where the people's income, the median income that they have, they're able to match on a reasonable rental basis of according to their income.
Well, we need it. I will fight for it because it is needed. Yeah, we can't have our people in the street and be homeless. I mean, we look at our.
I mean, would you fight to be bringing more development of that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely, because it's needed. We're reaching across, helping other people with migrants coming over here, and our problem is here.
Mm-hmm.
Our problem is here with affordable housing.
So that would be one of your priorities as well.
Definitely be a priority, for sure.
That's great, because it's definitely needed. The cost of real estate today is just filling the shelters up. People can't afford it anymore. People becoming more and more homeless, being evicted, no place to live, going to the shelters. It's a real crisis, a burden in our city right now. As we're moving on, so we hope that that gets dealt with. And job creation is another thing. You know, some of the young guys speak with the saying, I would ask some that I pass by in the street now and ask them where they are working, and many will say, I'm trying, but I can't find a job. I know there's some jobs out there, but the skilled labor has changed. So sometimes you have to be qualified for a job that may be awaiting you. And if you're not, then, you know, it's McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, etc. Do you have any idea or any vision on how you would come in with a job creation package, or to make these young people more qualified or eligible to get some jobs?
I think we need to put more forth into trades. I think trades and skills would be very accountable to our people. Education, I'm all for it. Like I said, I went to college. My wife went to college. I've been married 26 years.
She had 3 of your children in college.
Three of my kids are in college.
Wow.
Me and my wife went to college. So I'm all for education, but you know, college might not be for everybody. Let's be frank. So a trade. My daughter asked me, and she's on a scholarship in college. She asked me, Dad, my friend is not going to college. He's going to a trade school. What do you think about that? And I said, that's his choice. I think it's an excellent.
Yeah. Well,
I think
it's a form of education.
Exactly.
It's education. You know, I mean, when you see the Empire State Building, you know, that was built, it was built by tradesmen, right?
Right.
And you can't not do it without knowledge.
So we need more apprenticeship. We need more.
Yes.
We need more apprentices. I'm actually an apprentice myself in the elevator trade. We need more apprentices, because with this, that's a form of education where you learn, you go to trade, and you can make a great living with that. So I think that will create more jobs within our community. The trades. When I grew up, the trades were in the schools. They're not in the schools anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up, there was carpentry, there was machine work. There's no more trades in the school. They done took that away. We need to bring that back.
So would you put more funding in as an assembly person into programs to develop those programs of your district?
Definitely would. That's definitely what I would do. That is a way to actually help them and open their mind to something to where they'd be really good at and creative with, and help them make a positive impact in life. You know, the whole purpose of this seat that I'm running for is to improve the quality of lives. That's what I'm all about. I'm trying to improve the quality of lives. I want the person next to me, behind me, in front of me. Sometimes it ain't always money. Sometimes it might just be knowledge. I'm willing to give it. Push you forward. When I see you with something and you created yourself, congratulations. That's what we need to do. We need to congratulate people more and help people and bring them along with us. And that will grow our community out of poverty. That will help us grow. Mm-hmm. I truly, wholly believe in that. Helping one another, pulling each other along together, we'll be well. And I can demonstrate it. For one example, if you had 10 people Each one had a box of cereal, but only had $1. Neither one of them could eat a bowl of cereal. I tell you one thing, if you take those 10 people, they all put their dollars together and made $10, and may get a couple of gallons of milk, everybody will eat 2 bowls of cereal.
Good way to look at it.
That's how you come together. That's how you make it work. As a community, as a family, you structure yourself to build together and push one along and bring the other person with you. Never leave someone behind.
Unity in the community. That's a great concept there. I think that's how it all works, is in working together with one another. We're very diverse communities, and many of us are on our own path in our own ways because of different groups, ethnicities, but yet we all live in the same community. We all live in the same location. One thing's happened in that community affects us all, right?
Correct.
So if it's high crime, we're all affected by it. If it's whatever, high cost of living, we're all affected. So we have to work together. Agree with you on that. The unity part is very crucial. So we definitely talked about the crime, the youth, the education, housing. Now, another thing that really touches me sometimes is many of us seniors who are on fixed incomes are being left out there. The monies that they get every month is becoming less and less for them because of rents going up, or even on senior housing. And if they had a fixed income of $200-300 a month and you raise their rent $50, now that money that they get every month goes down $50. So if they use that $50 or that money for food, they get $50 less food per month. So I think they should go back like they used to do years ago. They used to build more subsidized housing where the government put in money, more monies for the seniors to live and to be able to have a good quality of life after paying their dues in society, etc., to live and have a quality of life, a good quality of life, and be able to live in retirement until they return back to their creator. But we're going to continue on, but we're going to take another break and we'll be right back. Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtv.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com and through our social media, Millennium News. See you then. Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk show here. I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. We're continuing our talk with Norman McGill, a candidate for the New York State Assembly of the 77th District of the South Bronx. Mr. McGill, as we were talking about the seniors, there has to be more money set aside or put in for senior citizens as well now. Many of them are being priced out, not being able to afford elevated rents on them after they were retired on a fixed income, shortening their food money budget for the month, and some having to some homeless, becoming homeless, being evicted as well. I talked to a gentleman today, someone gave him my number. He's 76 years old in the shelter, evicted because he couldn't pay rent, and he says, "How can you help me?" So, I wish I had a quick fix solution to say, hocus pocus, there you go. Go into a nice, affordable housing. We all know it doesn't work like that. But we will see what programs or what a Department of Aging or whoever out there may be able to do something in assisting him. We're going to try our best. Nothing will be done. So we're going to try because we want something done. So what can you do, or what would be something you would do to help the seniors of your district?
Well, we pour a lot of interest in our youth, which is greatly deserved because they're the ones coming up. But we cannot forget the seniors. We cannot. We have to pour into our seniors to help them, even if it's financially, so that because they're the ones that paved the way. A lot of things that we learn, whether it's in politics or whether you're a regular constituent, that we learn these things from our seniors. They paved the way for us. They did a lot of groundwork for us, and we need to take care of them, whether it's financially, so they have affordable housing that they can stay here. And I tell you, my mom had to move out of New York City due to the fact of the crisis of overpaying rent. Go to another city to where she can be able to afford to live.
Yeah, so why she should be able to stay in her home where she was at, you know?
Exactly. So
why are we forcing them out, you know?
I know firsthand on that, you know. So that's why we need to pour into that, you know. So we cannot forget the seniors. They have a right. They paved the way. They deserve to continue to live their life as comfortable as they can and not have to worry about their home.
That's right.
When we was taught as kids, my mom, you take care of the roof over your head and food in your mouth. Everything else will take care of itself. So we have to take care of the seniors. They should not have to worry about whether they're going to be put in the street.
So as an assembly person, would you seek out a program funding to create or some subsidies or some new development for senior housing that we could house them at affordable rate?
Most definitely.
Would that be something that you would commit to do?
Commitment all the way. I'm definitely for that. Like I said, we have to take care of our seniors. If there's a bill to be passed, I would be right there and always on the forefront trying to fight for that to get that done so that we take care of them.
And the Meals on Wheels, it seems like, you know, the hot Meals on Wheels where they deliver to seniors, you know, it seems like they're reducing the monies for that. You know, at one time when I was growing up, Meals on Wheels, I mean, I used to see the trucks frequently bringing the meals in, but the budget has been shrinking on that now. You know, everything boils down to, I know, to the dollars and cents, but we have to prioritize what is needed to survive and live. You know, and those who can't afford to have like proper meals every day because of a lack of money, then the Meals on Wheels, they kind of fill in the meals for the seniors. I see them sometimes, they bring in the hot meals for dinner, etc., and it makes a difference for somebody eating versus not eating.
Right.
So would you continue to be supportive of seeing that? I know that some of that is done through mainly the city, but would you be supportive from the state on continuing such programs?
I definitely would be. We have a lot of pantries going on, so thank you for the nonprofit organizations that seek out other help, writing grants and getting food to feed other people. I was on the forefront with that as well. There's a nonprofit group out there called Neighborhood Lunches. During COVID, when my family went south because they was worried about the crisis of the COVID epidemic, I stayed behind with my son. We were handing out food to our community, taking care of our community in a time of crisis, which was COVID. Thanks to Neighborhood Lunches, we was feeding Highbridge, we was feeding Sedgwick, we was feeding across the street.
Hundreds of people.
Hundreds of people we were feeding, and until it came a time that my wife was like, I think you should come down here. And it was like when the city actually shut all the way down, and I was able to get on a flight and I was able to leave. But I was here on the forefront, stayed back, away from my family, giving out food to people, making sure they're all right, making sure. So these are things. So these
in the middle of COVID.
In the middle of COVID, in the thick of things, in the things that we have to sit here. Some of us has to do it. Thank you for the emergency workers, of the nurses and doctors who were also.
Oh, you was an emergency worker too. Right, I mean, you was at the doorway counting moles with bringing food. People was afraid to come out and couldn't come out to homes, you know.
Right. But I want to thank them as well because they,
Oh yeah, definitely. We commend definitely the emergency workers and all, police, fire, the people, especially the people who sacrificed their jobs and went into the hospitals every day despite the high levels of COVID. Some even went in not feeling well just to make sure they can help the sick, and they can't be rewarded enough, you know. So, but that's good to me. So you have pretty much a rounded view of what to do in your community. I mean, I'm sure as long as you live there, you know best what the community needs that you live in. You've seen and know all of the disparities that exist, and you know what you have to do. I don't think I don't know who else is in the race. Honestly, how much more is in the race, and I don't really care about who else is in the race because I know the community won't let the wool be pulled over their eyes in this situation, because you got your eye on the prize and we have to keep it on the prize. But why don't you tell me who else is in the race, if there's anyone else? Because I know no one that's an open assembly seat just goes unattended like that. What? Corporations look for interest. They look for putting money and put up corporate candidates who are going to represent their interests, etc. sometimes. So I don't know who else is in the race. So why don't you tell viewers?
Well, there's actually three parties.
Three parties, okay.
There's Democrat Party, Republican, Conservative. I represented the Republican, and I'm also representing the Conservative Party. I've actually...
So you were given two lines?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually won their nomination to represent the Conservative Party as well. The other candidate...
Who is it?
I believe his name is Landon Dias, if I'm pronouncing it right. I've never heard of him.
Dias?
They say he's from Highbridge, where I'm from. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been in Browns politics or he just joined Browns politics.
I'm not sure of his backgrounds as far as with politics. I've seen certain things where he helped.
No, I've been around a little bit. I mean, I could take you back to names probably to the 70s. That's a new name to me.
I've never heard him or never seen him. From what I hear of his address, he lives up the block from me. I'm out there on the street.
Up the block from you? Up
the block from me.
And you not know him? As long as you live in the, have you ever seen him in your community?
Never seen him in the store. Never seen him nowhere. Never seen him. I'm on gun violence marches with the Democratic Party that he's running underneath. I haven't seen him in that march on the Grand Concourse.
So what is his position? What does he do? Is he an activist? I mean, if he doesn't do gun violence, obviously, if you haven't seen him, so he's not trying to stop gun violence. So what's his background?
When I'm here, he's a lawyer by trade, representing cannabis.
Cannabis. Oh boy.
Which I'm definitely against. Let me tell you why. I understand the medical term and the medical description for it and its use, but it's being misused in my community. Yes. We're having more smoke shops than banks or drugstores in our community. It's a gateway drug. No one starts out high on an upper drug. So the people I know or the people I'm around in my community, they start out with this cannabis, marijuana, and it introduces them to the next drug because there's a tolerance level that you come accustomed to, and you know what you say, you know what your mind and your body say, I have to grow. So it's being misused. So I understand the medical term. I understand the people's gripe that you use it for pain. Trust me, I hear your cry, and you say that it helps you. In medical terms, say that it helps you. But when it's being misused, it's not used in my community right.
And you know, Norman, when I hear these things from you, what you're saying, and when I'm hearing from other people, and I'm seeing the way the Democratic Party is starting to operate compared to the years I've served and coming up as a Democrat, you know, I'm disappointed in what I'm seeing in the Democratic Party. We were supposed to be the party of the people, of our needs, of the inner cities, but it seems to be failing us in some ways. Not that I'm telling anyone to join any party, you each your own, but I'm telling you the fact of what it is. From my experience of what I know and see, it's starting to fail our communities. And now they're allowing this person to come into the district that I don't know of, you don't know of, who said he lives around the corner from you. Maybe he was homebound. Was he bedridden for 40 years and got well and came out? Or I don't know. But you know what? Something has to give. Norman, I'm telling you, I'm wishing you the best. I know you would do the best. I know you would take to heart your service for your people of your community, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what their ethnicity, their color, their race, their religion. I know you would do for your community in a whole, regardless of party affiliations. It's not about that. It's about serving and doing the job.
Let me say this. You cannot trick the people from the Bronx. You cannot trick the people from the Bronx. You cannot bring a plant there and expect it to grow.
Well, Bronx people, listen to this. Here's your candidate for the 77th New York State Assembly District, Norman McGill. You heard the man. He tell you his vision, just told you his vision on education, gun violence, gang, all job creation, job development, and seniors. What more do you want? No, we're running out of time. We will get you back another time, but I'm going to let you, we have a few minutes. I'm going to let you give to the viewers what you want to say to them, and we're going to close out.
First, I want to say thank you for the opportunity, and then I just want to say to the people that just remember that this party is not about, this election is not about the party, about the right person for the choice. You cannot trick the people. The people know who's for them, who's willing to fight for them. I'm here. I know what's needed. I know where we need a crossing guard to get our kids to and from safe from school. I know where we need a speed bump to slow down the cars because I walk these streets. I'm connected with the youth. I'm connected with the seniors. I'm pretty much like a mediator. I get involved. I put a suit on if I need to put a suit on. I put a jean jacket if I need to talk to a younger person and reach him on a visual level. It doesn't matter to me. My thing is about reaching the people, helping the people, and making my community a better place, a safer place to live. Always safe. Safe is definitely one of our most priorities that we need in our community. And I'm all for it. I'm the betterment. I am your choice. I am the people's choice because I've been born and raised there. Born and raised, lived there, still live in the community and willing to fight for our community.
How can the people reach you, the viewers, if they would like to contact you or help you?
You can reach me at Norman McGill 311 at gmail.com. That is my email. You can email me. Tell me your concerns. Tell me, I want to hear from the constituents. I want to hear what you need because I want to represent you the right way. I want to fight for you the right way on the things that you need, on your concerns in your area because I'm there. I'm very reachable.
Well, there you go. You have it right there. Norman McGill, the next assembly person for the 77th Assembly District of the South Bronx. We need some energy like this. We need some vision like this. It's an open seat. Why not give the chance and opportunity to someone who knows, lives, born, is bred of the community? Who would know it better? So viewers and listeners, we thank you for tuning in to a Power Talk here on Millennium News 24. I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. We thank you always for tuning in and supporting us. And thank you, Mr. McGill, and all the best to you in your election. Thank you. See you next week.